No,
by PLU.
No, that's what you think. The PLU is not a political party. It is a pressure group.
Whatever it is, but NRM is under siege by the pressure.
You see, they are, you know.
Hello and welcome back to Acholi Side TV, the podcast where we unpack the biggest, loudest, and most fascinating political shifts happening right here in Uganda and across the globe. I'm your host, and today we are diving straight into the deep hand of a political phenomenon that has everyone talking. I'm talking about the Patriotic League of Uganda, or PLU. Is it a civic pressure group? Is it a party in waiting, or has it completely hijacked the ruling national resistance movement? Today, we are looking at the PLU through the words of the politicians themselves, and let me tell you, the contradictions are absolutely fascinating. Let's start with a quote that caused a massive stir in the political corridors this week. Honorable Charles Tebandeke didn't hold back. He said PLU has swallowed up NRM. PLU is now the engine of the NRM. Talk about hitting.
Sparking the Exodus story of the liberation of Israelites. You see, there is a scenario where Moses and Aaron came up with a bigger snake. And then Pharaoh, the Baal, also brought other snakes.
No, you should have said
so Pharaoh brought a snake and Moses
came up with a bigger.
So what happened? Moses' snake had to swallow the rest of other Pharaoh's snakes. So
I need to digest that.
PLU, like the other snake, has swallowed up NRM. If I'm to say PLU is now a Holy Ghost and the NRM is a priest, so the priest cannot work without the Holy Ghost. So it is now PLU an engine of NRM as a party. If the claimers say NRM and PLU are different, they are inseparable, can we also join?
Talk about hitting your big brother now. If you have been watching the rallies, the mobilization, and the absolute sea of yellow and border caravans across the country, it's hard to argue with Tebandeke's imagery. The PLU has this way raw, youthful energy and it's moving fast. But saying it has swallowed the NRM, that implies the old guard is sitting in the belly of a new beast. It suggests that the traditional NRM structures are fading. And if you want anything done in the ruling camp right now, you have to go through the PLU engine room. It's a bold take, but it perfectly captures the anxiety and the excitement surrounding the group's rhetoric's rise. But wait, we are just friends. But wait, before you think there is a civil war brewing within the ruling camp, Honorable Ojara steps in to cool the temperature. He looks at it from a completely different angle, stating PLU is not a political party, so there won't be any fights with the NRM.
Honorable Mapenduzi, I'll pick him on this. Do you see a simmering power fight where PLU now is overtaking the NRM and giving the direction of things? Right from the election of the speaker, it was PLU dictating.
First, we need to recognize that the PLU is not a political party. And so there is no way the PLU and the NRM would struggle for power.
But PLU is calling the shots for the NRM.
Let me just give you a few information. PLU is an organization, a pressure group that we created, and our chair is the general MK. Is the chair, and we have a very clearly outlined structure. What my senior colleague, the Honorable Bagiga, is calling a cabinet, is actually part of the structure of the PLU, where we have the top organ, which is the Central Executive Committee, and of course, PLU not being a political party. And
what is it?
I have told you it is an organization, it is a pressure group.
What does it do?
There are a number of things. Number one, we do a lot of advocacy and putting pressure, but also we emphasize...
Is it an NGO?
I have stated that we are an organization, a pressure group, legally registered, and our core motive is to promote patriotism in this country, but also every citizen who holds a position of responsibility account.
Classic political reassurance, right? Mapinduzi is essentially saying, relax everyone, we share the same DNA, there's no tough war because we aren't competing for the same crown. By framing PLU as a pressure group rather than a registered political party, it allows NRM loyalists to jump onto the PLU wagon without officially committing political treason. It's a brilliant strategic maneuver. It keeps the peace on paper, even if on the ground, the power dynamics are shifting beneath everyone's feet. So, if they aren't fighting, what is the PLU actually doing? According to Mapinduzi Ojara, they are here to act as the ultimate accountability partner. He notes. The PLU as a pressure group is mounting pressure so that Ugandans get the best of the things they deserve. And he ties this directly to the big man at the top, adding, the president said that this is Kisanja no small sleep. That's the direction he wants to take.
How do you contend with what's happening?
Well, I don't see any problem with. I don't see any problem with the manner in which the NRM party is conducting business as a political party.
People say your party is under siege.
No,
by PLU.
No, that's what you think. The PLU is not a political party. It is a pressure group.
Whatever it is, but NRM is under siege by the pressure.
You see, they are what you think is probably not what is true. The PLU as a pressure group is mounting pressure so that Ugandans get the best of the things they deserve, and the NRM party has very clear structures and organs that it functions through, and so I don't see any contradiction. I don't see any problem. Right? The PLU will continue as an organization, as a pressure group, will continue to mount pressure so that Ugandans get the services they deserve, so that leaders are held accountable, so that we fight corruption, so that we are patriotic. That's what we are doing as PLU. And the NRM as a political party is a party in government that has a duty for the next 5 years to fulfill the promises made during campaigns. And so I don't see any contradiction, right? And people should not confuse the two. The PLU is not a political party, the NRM is a ruling party. The two are doing what they're supposed to do within their own mandates.
It's under no more sleep. I love that phrase because it tells you exactly where the pressure is coming from. The president wants results, service delivery and urgency, and the PLU is positioning itself as the alarm clock. That's what he's saying. Think about it. If the traditional bureaucracy has fallen asleep at the wheel, the PLU is stepping up to say, we are going to mount the pressure, wake up the system, and ensure Ugandans get what they deserve. It's a clever narrative. It reminds the PLU not as a threat to the current leadership, but as the literal enforcement squad for the president's vision. That is coming in from Ojara Mapinduzi.
I think we need to start with the inauguration of the president. When the president took oath, I think his message was crystal clear that this is going to be a Kisanja no more sleep. And he said this is going to be a term that the fight against corruption would be seen and felt. And again, when we had the election of the speaker, when Parliament at its first meeting at Kololo, the president repeated the same statement. And when again we met for the State of the Nation's address, he repeated the same statement, and so that tells you the direction that the president is trying to shape in as far as this time.
There has been a quick reaction from I can say, citizen reporting, a boy from Central Uganda has had his say. Starting in English, shifted to Uganda, but generally I think he is trying to say Mapenduzi is not correct.
Every angle. Now what I heard that Mapenduzi, MOP from Northern Uganda, that Mapenduzi said, Mbu, Oba Muhoozi, that PLU is something associated with non-NGO, but they are fighting for what we are fighting for. Mapenduzi, I quote you wrong. You are not fighting for what we are fighting for, because the Lukwago that has been fighting for the people that have nothing has been arrested. Now what about me who has nothing? I'm not qualified. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a teacher. I'm just something, a smaller thing. Ugandans, let's wake up. Today is Lukwago, tomorrow is you, and another day is me. Another day is your grandmother or your mother. And what I want to tell the government of Museveni is not happening to us alone. It's coming to you also. Muhoozi, wait for your arrest. Museveni, wait for your arrest. We are ready to battle with you guys. We shall not deny the authorities. But the authority has to work in the proper way. Not in a way whereby people are just doing their things loudly. Whereby the military is taking power over everything.
So where does that leave us? PLU is a powerful force that has swallowed up the NRM from the inside, versus PLU is a complementary pressure group keeping the system awake. It represents a radical shift in the ruling engine, versus it represents a booster shot for service delivery under Kisanja no more sleep. Whether you see the PLU as an engine, or a consumer of the NRM, or just a very loud civic alarm clock, one thing is undeniable. They have fundamentally changed how mobilization works in Uganda. They aren't going anywhere, and they definitely aren't letting anyone sleep.